Oh man, politics, politics, politics. This is going to be my last mention of politics for the rest of 2021 and beyond, hopefully. I usually end these little snippets with a quote, but with this one, I believe I'm going to begin with a quote. That quote is, be neither of the Green Party nor the Blue Party in the games of the circus, nor partisan of the Apollomarius or the Sacertorius of the gladiator fights. And that's Marcus Aurelius. So my interpretation of that quote falls right into the political landscape we are seeing today. The political ideology is taught and handed down to us from generation to generation. My parents and grandparents were Democrats. My wife and I are independents. I go for whoever has the best policies at the time for the working man and the woman. When some see my conservative views or hear me voice my conservative views, they all claim, oh, you're just a Trump lover. Well, that's not necessarily true. I'm a lover of our freedoms and our rights of free speech to bear arms. So in a sense, I'm a fan for whoever puts money in my pocket and who lets us live the freest life possible. And if I'm being honest, if Tulsi Gabbard would have won the primaries, Democratic primaries, I would have voted for her over Trump. If you don't know who Tulsi Gabbard is, I highly suggest you listen to her podcast with Jocko Willink on the Joe Rogan Experience. I think we're all doing a very big disservice by just voting the way our grandparents voted, because this is obvious that this is not our grandparents' Democratic Party, and it's not our grandparents' Republican Party for that matter. Things have changed. And we need to adapt and change with the times and not get painted into a box just because it's something that our grandparents did 50 years ago and the way they voted 50 years ago. Politics along with religion it's a tricky conversation. They always say don't talk politics and don't talk religion, in the sense that every side is 100% convinced that they are correct and the opposing thought is 100% wrong. So, if that's the case, why argue? A lot of us were always taught to question everything, and we should always be falling back onto that lesson from long ago. We do need to question everything. We should not swallow one narrative just because someone, or hell, everyone in the mainstream media right now is telling us. Media is supposed to be a bunch of independent journalists. Independent journalism means having multiple points of view with multiple interpretations of what's going on. We need to be very wary and very concerned when all the mainstream media sources, news anchors, and journalists are all bullhorning the same exact message day in and day out, over and over. This is what they call programming. This makes, critical thinking one of our most important tasks every day when consuming all this information. True intelligence is not you think you know everything, but rather question everything you know. That's true intelligence. One thing is for certain, though, Trump, love him or hate him, has shined a huge light on the darkness, which is American politics today. The strategy divide and conquer is what comes to mind. It's a tactic used by every great commander since Sun Tzu, the art of war. It's happening on a social level, though, all around us, black and white, Republican, Democrat, mask or no mask. So just ask yourself, who benefits from the populace bickering and fighting amongst themselves? The reason I'm so passionate about this subject is because when I was about 13 years old, I can remember sitting in the living room with my grandpa Thornburg discussing my morning strategy of the deer hunt, which we often did. And he told me there would come a time when we would have to choose between living and dying over our beliefs and our rights to bear arms. That was a true conversation we had when I was like 12 or 13. I believed him wholeheartedly then, and even more so now with the way things are playing out. But with every terrible or bad situation, there's good that comes out of it. And the good situation here is the right to believe what we choose to believe and the right to bear arms and defend ourselves are two things that every American can come together and rally around. Because at the end of the day, we are all Americans, and for the most part, love the American way of life. So to bring this wild political season and negative energy that I've brought out, arguing politics, arguing my point of views, to an end for myself and my family and those around me, I'm going to make a pledge to focus on what we as Americans have in common. I'll always believe what I choose to believe and how I interpret information, regardless of what others say or impose on me. I will make my own decision, and everybody else should make their own decision too. That being said, I'm not going to criticize anyone for their beliefs. I don't want them to criticize me, so I'm not going to criticize them. So I'm going to let the trolls be the trolls and do what they do and troll. And I'm going to work on me and changing my vibration to a more positive one. And I hope everyone can follow along in that and do the same and try to do nothing but push a positive vibe onto everyone you come in contact with or everyone that's around you in your household. I hope everybody has a great night. It's chilly out, and I'm going to go try to kill some coyotes. Good night.